Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
This is how to shave your Adam's apple. Shaving is horrible and everybody hates it. When you hit puberty, a lump will begin to protrude from the front of your neck. In fact, when you hit puberty, lumps will start to protrude everywhere. This one makes it impossible to shave, which is something you'll have to start doing at the exact same time as it makes its debut. And so, you'll have to make many decisions as a man who suddenly has to shave all the time, or every day, or if you choose the right career, sometimes. Should I shave with an electric shaver or a traditional razor? Electric shavers are good for people who aren't Irish like you and I. The thing about being Irish, and particularly from County Connemara, is that the whiskers we grow are literally Wolverine blades that the first couple times you make out with somebody might rub their face off. So that's something to be aware of. You should stay relatively clean shaven, especially when you're about to go on a date. And in fact, towards the end of the date, you think you're going to make out, sneak into the bathroom and shave again, because shards of glass grow out of our chins. And I've seen some shit. I've seen some horrible stuff happen to the people that I care about. Electric shavers, I think they're for people who grow feathery silk out of their faces and do not grow actual cutlery out of their faces. So cutlery requires cutlery. Therefore, you're probably going to go with razors. And here's the thing about razors. I've been around the world. I've seen a million razors and I've rocked them all. And in fact, a couple of years before I'm making this video, which is several years before you're ever going to shave, there was a crazy blade arms race where Gillette had 3 blades and it came out with the Mach 3. And then it came out with the Mach 4, which had 4 blades. And then there was an Onion article fakely written by the CEO of Gillette that was titled, "Fuck it, we're going to 5 blades." But you know what Gillette did? It went to 5 blades, which is basically taking a frozen waffle full of blades and running it down your face. And it ends up obeying the law of diminishing returns, if you ask this guy, because then they had to start making them vibrate, but that seems like a one-way ticket to decapitation. They struck gold with the Mach 3, and that's the one that I've stuck with. It only has 3 blades, but it does the job. Probably never going to improve on this. This is like as good as it gets. Like car design in the 50s, good as it got, maybe 60s. After that, they're just like, you're just, gilding the lily. And why would you do that? Next thing you need to figure out is the grain of your face. Being my son, you're probably similar to me, and I have 2 cowlicks growing on my neck. So the grain of the hair goes down like this to here, but it grows up to there also. Furthermore, you have to figure out where you're going to stop. As you can see, us Hugheses are somewhat hirsute, and as a result, I just have to choose arbitrarily where I'm going to stop shaving, where the beard becomes chest hair. But the thing is, the chest hair just grows and sort of becomes beard hair and keeps going, and it gets pretty close to the eyes in a dismaying way, and then up over the head. So if you grew it enough and then shaved it perfectly, it could be a Sasquatch suit with only this sort of scuba mask as a reveal, and maybe a bit for the cake hole. Anyway, so you want to shave with the grain. But you want to cream away from the grain. Down to here, but then up to there. So there's this like line of control right here. This is the cashmere of the neck. There's another fact you should know though about the Gillette Mach 3, and that is this. They used to vivisect rabbits in the 1980s. And that's sad, because because vivisection is a horrible thing to do to such a cute creature, or any creature for that matter. Vivisecting mosquitoes, on the other hand, that would be fine, because mosquitoes are responsible for the deaths of 750,000 people a year. We could all gather together as a species and eradicate mosquitoes, and I'm not sure anybody would miss them. Rabbits, on the other hand, just want to have sex. They just want to party. And Gillette was busy vivisecting them on the way to making the Mach 3. So in life, you kind of have to figure out, you have to figure out for yourself what you're willing to accommodate. Here's the other thing about Gillette. It's in our hometown of Boston. I know what you're thinking. Dad, I was born in Los Angeles. I know. But if baldness and Judaism come down through the mother, hometowns come down through the father. I was born and raised in Boston. You are a Bostonian. That's how that works. So Gillette is in the city of Boston, and the Patriots play at Gillette Stadium. Does that mitigate vivisection? I'm not really sure. Are they still doing vivisection? I should look into it before I put this video on YouTube. What is vivisection? I'm not totally sure of that either, but I think it's something like rip the side of the rabbit off while it's still alive and see how long it lives. But that seems really cruel, and what does that have to do with shaving? I don't know exactly. But here I am in front of the world using Gillette products. Why is it called the Mach 3? Mach is the speed of sound, which at sea level is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 680 miles an hour, I think. Mach 3, therefore, is around 2,000 miles an hour. What Gillette shaving products have to do with aerodynamics and airspeed velocity, I've never really been able to figure that part out either. But the Mach 3, this one, 3 times the speed of sound, is the one that I find the most useful. Here's another interesting thing. These blades are designed to like completely come apart after like 7 shavings, and they cost $1 million. This is the same thing as printer cartridges. You buy a printer and you're like, oh my god, I got a printer for like $60. This is great. Or even $30, or even free. And you're like, this is terrific. But then the printer ink cartridges cost $30 a pop. And then it really starts to add up. Printer ink comes in 1/4 ounce cartridges, and they cost $30, which means a gallon of printer ink costs $4,000, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever unless it's made of the tears of children that live on mountaintops or something like that. How is it possible that printer ink costs $4,000 a gallon? It isn't. And blades are the same way. But here's the most important thing, and this is the thing you can never forget. When you have one of these, you can revive a blade by running it the wrong way down a pair of jeans. So you don't shave the jeans, but you go the other way on the jeans, like put it on a flat surface and go on the jeans like 20 times, and then it's good as new. And you can make these things last 6 months each. 6 months each. They're supposed to last like 5 shavings, but they can last a very long time. Next thing is, when you're shaving, I used to, as a young man who didn't care about the planet, just run the tap while I was shaving. And then like blah, 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 blah. But that's planet hatred, and it's the only one we got. So instead, you fill the sink. You fill the sink with water, and it just sits there, and you go like that inside of it, and it gets rid of it, and it gets the hairs off of it. You get the face wet. So with the cream, I use Noxzema brand because my mom, your grandmother, when I was a kid, had Noxzema around the house all the time, and she would put it on my sunburns, and so it brings back memories of summertime. The shaving cream goes against the grain. You go up underneath the hairs. These hairs point down, so you put it going up. Like that, then you can talk and conduct your affairs. And then down against the grain, going down here, and then again up there like that. Okay, all right, you got me so far? You with me? Your dad rocks some sideburns. I don't know why I do it. I've done it forever. I try and go up a little bit, and I'm like, oh, it's the new me that has shorter sideburns. But then I, stop thinking about it, and then I have long sideburns again. I default pretty low. Also, and furthermore, my ears are at very different heights, completely different heights. So the question is, do you make the sideburns even to each other, or even relatively to the earlobe? And that's a matter of personal preference, as a wise person once told me. So you have to sort of figure it out for yourself. I go for earlobe, even though like the sideburns themselves are completely cattywampus from each other. But no one's paying attention to that, because by the time you get to the other side of the face, you're like, oh, I forgot everything about the other side of the face. The other thing about this is you don't bear down too hard. When you're actually shaving, you bear down lightly. All right? And I have to remember, when I get to the Adam's apple, I have to show you how it's actually done. So I always start on this side. No idea why. Probably because I'm a righty. And off we go. And then, I always forget little bits right here, or a streak right there, and then I get to work, and it drives me nuts all day long. But you're skittish about shaving around your lips and your mouth and stuff like that, so you don't do it too much, but you get to go over and over and over again. Us dudes, you hit about 30 years old, and your ear hairs and your nose hairs are like, I'm going to grow forever now. I used to fall out promptly at 1/4 inch, but now I grow 7 feet, one left to my own devices. So you have to do this kind of thing. Spread your nose, and then shave in there. It's insane. It's a horrible way to live, but you have to do it, because otherwise they grow down. And then you're having a conversation with somebody, but unbeknownst to you, you have a nose hair sticking straight out your nostril. It's all they can think about. And as you're talking to them, you're like telling them about your problems, and they seem distracted. And you take it personally, start thinking, I'm a boring person. I shouldn't share my problems with anybody. That starts to compound after a while. You start making friendships that aren't as fulfilling, and then eventually you have to spend a lot of money on therapy, because they're the only people who will actually listen to you without getting bored. But I think they get bored too sometimes. So really, you just have to show up authentically with no nose hair sticking out of your nose. Nothing distracting on your face. Here, a little of that, little check with your hand. This is why they're always doing this in the shaving commercials, and they're always wearing these shirts too. I wore this kind of shirt because this is about shaving, and this is like what you wear, you know what I mean? So then you have to be like, ugh, whoa, you know, and like, check me out. This is what I never knew. Your skin can slide around. So the skin that sits on atop the mountainous Adam's apple, you push to the side like that. And then you push to the other side, huh? Like that. And get it off that way. See, there's still a little bit left. Treacherous. If I just went after that, like I did until I was, I don't know, 35, I would walk around with this thing. And then not only is there nose hair sticking out of your nose, but there's a freaking wound, this like stigmata in the middle of your neck. So you take that, see that? And stretch it. You can also go like that. And flatten it out a little bit. But the point is, you pull down, you pull over. You do not shave the Adam's apple itself. I also have all this hair back here. This is a major concern because life is just different when your neck is shaved. You just walk around. People respond to you differently. It's like losing 10 pounds when you shave this. They're like, I don't know why, but you look really put together. We want you on this project or whatever. God forbid there are still jobs by the time you're an adult, and hopefully everyone just lives happily and every single person on earth receives a certain amount of resources to live by. Everyone's happy. You still want to shave your neck, though, because then it's just going to be artistic projects. Like, we're building a treehouse today, and we want your shaven neck brilliance on the job. And there you have it. A clean shave, not wounded, because you pull your neck around. You pull around that neck meat. That is how to shave your Adam's apple, and really how to shave, period. This has been Brendan Hughes with hard-won fatherly advice.